In this discussion, we're going to discuss the first generation Ford Fusion. Now, this sedan was quite stylish when it first came out, and it attracted quite a bit of attention. The full-size 500 had come out for the 2005 model year, and the mid-size Fusion went on sale for 2006. At the time, the fourth generation Taurus was pretty much obsolete, so the people at Ford wanted you to buy just a Fusion or a 500 if you needed to upgrade your old Taurus. In terms of the design, the 500 looked more like an evolution of the fourth generation Taurus, but it was larger, much more elegant with improved build quality. On the flip side, the new Fusion was more creative with its design. It took a lot of styling cues from the concept car that was previewed years earlier, and the Fusion was the first production car using Ford's 3-bar grille. This was a great design, with the new sedan looking both modern and futuristic. The new Fusion was built on Ford's CD3 platform, which was designed by Mazda, or you could just call it the Mazda G platform, because that's really all it was. So pretty much all they did was take a Mazda 6, adopted its platform, and then widened, lengthened, and strengthened it to become the Fusion's architecture. So this new Fusion was available in S, SE, and SCL trims. The base engine was a 160 horsepower Mazda-designed 2.3-liter inline-4, paired with either a 5-speed manual or 5-speed automatic. And both of those transmissions were also designed by Mazda. The SC and SCL models were also available with a 221 horsepower 3-liter Duratec V6 and a 6-speed automatic. The Fusion even shared some interior parts with the otherwise unrelated Mark III Ford Mondeo. It shared things like part of the console and the seats. So as you can see, the first generation Fusion was heavily based on Mazda designs, but if you ask me, that is definitely not a bad thing. So as a quick recap, Ford used Mazda's G platform, which they decided to call the CD3 platform. And again, the 4-banger engine as well as both 5-speed transmissions were designed by Mazda. The Fusion greatly benefited from all of this, with Mazda-like handling and reliability. As a matter of fact, the V6 was actually the only major component designed by Ford that was used in the Fusion. Automotive media like Consumer Reports favored the Fusion over the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord based on the styling, reliability, handling, and of course the fun-to-drive factor. In July 2007, Motor Trend reported that Ford's special vehicle team was planning on releasing a Fusion GT in late 2009 or early 2010. So SVT was planning to bring out this Fusion GT powered by a 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6, cranking out around 340 horsepower. But for whatever reason, this plan was scrapped and the Fusion GT never happened. 2 new packages were added to the options list for 2008. There was a new Sport Appearance package, which included 18-inch wheels, a rear spoiler, stiffer suspension, body color fog lamp surrounds, smoke-colored grille, red seat inserts, and red stitching on leather surfaces. There was another package called Moon and Tune. This one included a power moonroof and a premium 8-speaker audiophile sound system with amplifier. For 2009, electronic stability control was added as an option. A new appearance package with blue trim became available, and revisions were made to the exterior colors. Okay, so now let's talk about the trim levels between 2006 and 2009. The S was the base model, so this one had the 2.3-liter inline-4. You could get this car with either an automatic or manual transmission. There was an AM/FM stereo with single-disc CD player and 4 speakers. There were 16-inch steel wheels with plastic wheel covers, cloth seats, and keyless entry. Then there was the SC, and if you wanted something more than the base model, then the SC was the next step up. It added 16-inch alloy wheels, AM/FM stereo with single-disc CD player, power front driver's seat, and a security system. If you wanted the top-of-the-line Fusion, there was the SCL. This one would give you 17-inch aluminum wheels. Both front seats were powered, and later on in production, it offered a standard Ford Sync system. The Fusion got a significant facelift for the 2010 model year, and although I'm not usually a fan of mid-cycle refreshes, this one actually looked pretty good. I still think the pre-refreshed Fusion looks more aggressive and outgoing in terms of styling, which I prefer, but all things considered, the 2010 was still an attractive sedan, even if the styling was toned down just a little bit. But anyway, Ford facelifted the Fusion along with the other versions, the Mercury Milan and the Lincoln MKZ. There were changes made to the front and rear, as well as the interior and the powertrain. And let's not forget there was the ice blue illumination for the controls and gauges that Ford has started putting in all of their vehicles. I thought the color of the gauges looked great. They really gave the interior a nice touch. The powertrain options were similar to what had debuted on the 2009 Ford Escape, including a new 2.5-liter inline-4 and a 3-liter Duratec V6 paired to a new 6-speed transmission. The 3-liter Duratec was good for a pretty decent 240 horsepower, and the 2.5-liter was rated at 175 horsepower. The 3.5-liter Duratec cranked out 263 horsepower and was standard in the Fusion Sport. Okay, so let's talk about the trim levels for the new 2010 Fusion. Once again, there was the S, and this was the base model. It had the 2.5-liter inline-4, which replaced the 2.3-liter. There was an AM/FM stereo with a single-disc CD player, 16-inch alloy wheels, cloth seats, and keyless entry. The SC was next in line. This one had 17-inch steel wheels, 6 speakers, power front driver's seat, and a security system. Sirius satellite radio also came standard on this model. The SCL was the upper end model. This one came with 17-inch aluminum wheels, standard Ford sync system, and a 290-watt Sony 12-speaker surround sound. Leather seats were standard, or you could get cloth seats for fleet vehicles. Also, this one had dual zone climate control, driver door keypad, and dual power front seats. The Sport was a standalone model. This one offered standard 18-inch alloy wheels, a darkened front grille, a rear spoiler, lower body side skirts, leather seats, and of course, we can't forget that 3.5-liter Duratec engine with a sport-tuned suspension. The hybrid model was added onto the Fusion SCL. This one had a 2.5-liter Duratec inline-4, assisted by a hybrid electric motor. The hybrid had a unique gauge cluster, dual power front seats, as well as an eco driving mode to let the driver know how economically they are driving. The hybrid was good for a combined 191 horsepower. And speaking of the hybrid, let's go ahead and discuss that one a little bit. So this car came out in March 2009, and it had a price of about $27,000. EPA ratings for the hybrid were 41 miles per gallon city and 36 miles per gallon highway. In city driving, a full tank would deliver 700 miles. It was reported that this model got better fuel economy than the Toyota Camry hybrid, Nissan Altima hybrid, and the Chevy Malibu hybrid. In a December 2012 publication by Consumer Reports, they found that the Ford Fusion Hybrid and Ford C-Max Hybrid was almost 10 miles per gallon short of what Ford had claimed. It wasn't just the media, but also a lot of angry customers reported how the Fusion Hybrid was getting way less than the stated 47 miles per gallon city and 47 miles per gallon highway. As a result, a class action lawsuit was brought against Ford in December 2012. Consumer Reports reviewed several other vehicle makes and models and found that the Fusion Hybrid was the worst underperformer compared to EPA fuel efficiency ratings and real-world usage compared to 16 other cars. The second generation of Fusion was unveiled at the 2012 North American International Auto Show as a 2013 model. This new redesigned Fusion was built on the Ford CD4 platform. So basically, they just ended up selling the Mondeo in North America. Once again, not a bad thing because the Mondeo was a well-built and competent sedan. But all things considered, I think the first generation Fusion looks terrific. And to be quite frank, it still looks like a fresh design today. I prefer the pre-refresh, but the mid-cycle refresh model looks great too. But you guys let me know which version you prefer, if you prefer the pre-refresh or the mid-cycle refresh. And of course, I can't wait to hear you guys' comments. Alright, so I'll catch you guys on the next one.